Hi, welcome on to Transfer Daily. Lots of rumours flying around today in the defensive department for Arsenal. Couple of defenders being linked for that centre-back position, which Arsene Wenger has openly said that he's going to try and sign somebody to fill. First one we're going to take a look at is Benatia, defender, plays for Roma, really well thought of. He's born in France, but he actually plays for Morocco. You saw him in the World Cup. He looked very good, very talented. And listen, there's a lot of clubs chasing him. Bayern Munich have made inquiries about him. Manchester United have made inquiries about him. All the top clubs around Europe are after this guy. He's 27 years of age, and apparently his price tag is about 28 million euros. And there are reports from different media outlets, including Gazzetta dello Sport, which is one of the main ones over there in Italy, that Arsenal are in talks with Roma regarding Benatia, who, as I said, is wanted by a host of other clubs, is one of the more sought-after centre-backs around Europe, but Arsenal apparently very interested in signing him. Another centre-back that Arsenal have been linked with today, and this is according to the Daily Mirror newspaper right here in the UK, is Winston Reid of West Ham. Now, we spoke about Winston Reid before. I think I told you about a month ago that I'd heard from somebody that I know at Arsenal that Arsenal really like Winston Reid. He is a really good defender, very underrated. If you speak to any West Ham fan, they will tell you that he's an absolute rock in their defence. And Arsenal, according to the Mirror, are exploring. I wonder where they get these things from, if they know this for sure or if they're just speculating. But they're saying that Arsenal are exploring whether they can bring Winston Reid to the Emirates. I think actually that of a lot of the defenders that have been mentioned, Winston Reid, who incidentally he's 26 years of age, is from New Zealand. He plays for New Zealand. I think that he could make a really good signing at Arsenal. He would be the perfect backup for Mertesacker and Koscielny because he knows the Premier League inside out. And from what I've seen of him, when I've seen him played, I've been really impressed by him. And I think he could be a really top player. Whether West Ham would want to let him go, that's another matter. I mean, at the moment, they've got a bit of a defensive injury crisis at West Ham, and they're desperately trying to bring in another centre-back. I think for their game this weekend, he's about their only fit defender. So whether West Ham would be willing to sell Winston Reid is another matter, but then there's always 2 pointers that will help Arsenal. Number one, money, right? And number two, the fact that it's Arsenal, much bigger club than West Ham, and also Champions League football as well, hopefully, if we get through that tie next week. So Winston Reid also on the radar for Arsenal. Another defender, centre-back who's been linked is Toby Alderweireld. He, of course, plays at the moment for Atletico Madrid. Didn't have a great season for them, hasn't really hit it off there. Went there with really high hopes. Belgian international, of course, and it just hasn't really worked out for Alderweireld. He's still only 25 years of age. His dad, who I think is his agent, has already said that he's going to be moving on from Atletico. And again, anybody who's moving on as a defender from their club is automatically linked with Arsenal because they know that we're after centre-backs. But many outlets, again, linking him with a move today away from Atletico Madrid to Arsenal. Couple other players to tell you about. Now, these are not defenders. They're both supposedly defensive midfielders, or one of them anyway, and you know who that is. It's our old friend, Sami Khedira. Again, today in the papers, 2 newspapers linking him heavily with a move to Arsenal, the Metro and the Daily Star. And of course, we know this is despite Arsene Wenger saying about 2-3 weeks ago that he's not interested in him because he's a box-to-box midfielder. There's been sources around Arsenal have told me previously that Arsenal not interested in Khedira because they don't see him as what they need. But these newspapers, they're still going strong in it. They're saying that, listen, the asking price now has come down to about 12 million. And remember, it was previously being spoke about at Real Madrid that he would cost about 25 million. There's no way Arsenal going to go in and pay 25 million for a player that's only got 1 year left on his contract. If they are going to move for a player like Khedira, they're going to try and wait it out a bit until that price drops. Well, it's dropping now. They're saying that it's about 12 million. Carlo Ancelotti, manager of Real Madrid, even came out yesterday and openly said, listen, Khedira's rejected a new contract. We wanted to sign him on a new deal, but he's rejected the contract offer that we've offered him. So if he rejects the contract offer and they don't manage to get a new contract to him, which is looking unlikely at the moment because they've got so many players there at Real Madrid at the moment who can play in that midfield position, means he's going to be open for a transfer. And Arsenal, again, with the fact that we need a defensive midfielder. Okay, we know he's box to box, but then so is Arteta. Not really a holding midfielder. We've converted him. Surely we could convert a player that already has played that position for his country, can play as a centre back into that position, and again heavily linked with a move to Arsenal today, and other clubs as well. Obviously, hovering. Bayern Munich are interested apparently, and so as well are Manchester United now very interested in signing him as well. And finally, Carvalho, William Carvalho, again, defensive midfielder who plays for Sporting Lisbon. It's the same guys. We've been hearing about them all summer. Linked again today. There's a paper in Portugal called A Bola. They're saying that Sporting Lisbon rejected a 25 million euro offer from Arsenal, and are willing to sell him for 28 million euros. Now, listen, one of the complicated things with that deal is the fact that he's owned by third-party ownership, which means he's not 100% owned by Sporting Lisbon. They only apparently own 60% of his contract. And what this the paper in Portugal are reporting is that one of the sticking points with the deal with Arsenal are the fact that Arsenal want to pay like the price over 2 years. Sporting Lisbon want it straight away because they're only going to get 60% of any profit. They're not going to get the full 100%. They're only going to get 60% because they only own that. So that, again, is a complicated part of the deal, and this is what happens when you get all these third-party ownership, etc. But that is the score at the moment with the Carvalho deal. So lots of things there to chew over. Also, what do you guys think about the whole Balotelli thing? Again, heavily linked with a move to Arsenal at the start of the summer. There's a lot of people saying, as soon as the Puma kit deal's done, he's going to be coming in, etc., etc. And now he's going to Liverpool. There were a lot of fans at the time, I remember, loads of fans that were saying they don't want him. They do not want Balotelli. It was about a 50-50 split. There were some fans saying, yeah, bring him in, Wenger can change him. And then there was other fans saying, no, he'll disrupt Arsenal. He'll be a nightmare. It's a really, I think we definitely need a striker. We've got a video coming out later on actually on that point, so have a look at that video. But I think we need a striker. I just don't know who. I don't know if Balotelli would have been the answer. He's a great player, but what are you going to get? 1 week, he could be world class. The next week, he could be absolutely terrible. And that is the thing about Balotelli. I mean, he had his dream move to Milan, which is his club he supports, etc., and he didn't even hit it off there. So you have to wonder. It's a massive risk, obviously, for Liverpool. And if he had come to Arsenal, it would have been a massive risk. He'd be a character, but I don't know. Have we dodged the bullet? I mean, and then you've got to remember as well that we've brought in Alexis Sanchez, who's the player that everybody really wanted. Liverpool wanted him as well. We've got him in, and he can play as a striker. We haven't seen that yet, but Alexis Sanchez, when he gets up to speed, could possibly be that striker option, because that is where he used to play when he played at Udinese. That is where he plays sometimes when he plays for his country. So we're really going to have to watch his space on that. Let's take a look at what some of you guys are saying. John Melville says, Samuel Eto'o, what do you think? He's free and he's very keen to come and play for Wenger. I think that's about 10 years too late for me. You know, nah, don't fancy Samuel Eto'o. If he was that great, he would have stayed at Chelsea. So, nah. Brandon Manu says, Robbie, any news on Cavani? He was trending on Twitter yesterday, and apparently PSG have accepted Arsenal's bid. Neil Collins reported the info, apparently reliable source. I saw that, but listen, I don't know. I don't know about that story whatsoever. I don't know where that person got his information from. He's very vague on it. I don't know if it's a wind-up or if it's a true story, but certainly I haven't seen none of the papers really going big on that today. So I don't know. I think that's a bit of a hollow statement there about Cavani. Certainly he would be a great player, but I don't know, if that evidence was up to scratch. Let's see. We've got Hugo Esmeralda. He says, why not play Oxlade-Chamberlain on the wing and put Alexis Sanchez up front? Again, that's a great shout. Alexis Sanchez, I think, when he gets up to speed with the Premier League, the physicality, etc., will be tried in that role. He could be the player that Arsene Wenger is going to go with as a striker. Let me see what else we've got here. We've got a lot of Tottenham fans on. All these Tottenham fans coming on to our timeline at the moment. I think they've got their own transfers to worry about, don't you think? Let's see here if I can get a couple more. These Tottenham fans are clogging up the timeline, mate. Right. Joel Campbell to Spurs, one of them says. He's having a laugh. Ooh, they're really clogging up the timeline today, these Tottenham fans. This one also comes in from Joe. Joe says, what about Falcao? Falcao, again, would be a great shout for Arsenal, but it's whether or not, again, Arsenal would have the money to get a deal like that over the line, whether they'd be willing to spend that big on a player that is 28 years of age. So by the time, you get to next season, he's like 29. However, we saw that Manchester United, they did it with Robin van Persie, and for one season they won the title. So, it could be worth it. Listen, we've got a competition here on Transfer Daily. Got this book to give away. It's Arsene Wenger 50 defining fixtures. You would have seen that we've done a video on the channel where we've been interviewing the author of this book. Well, I've got this book to give away. It's a signed copy by the author himself. If you can see that, I don't know if you can see it. Leif Youssef, he signed it as well, and I've got this one to give away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this away to the fan who can tell me who the next transfer is going to be, the player who will be coming to Arsenal next. Put it in the comments below. I'll save those. When we do make that transfer, I'll select one at random, and the winner will win yourself a copy of this book. Very good book, by the way, by Leif Youssef, and it's Arsenal's 50 defining, Arsene Wenger, sorry, 50 defining fixtures. They're all in there. Newcastle United, 16th of May 1998. The Horror Show, Man United away, the 8th of May 2002. And for all you Tottenham fans who have been coming on our timeline, it's also in there, when we won the league at White Hart Lane. Thanks for watching Transfer Daily today. We'll be back tomorrow with more transfer news.